us in the room today, but we're going to still record it because there are a few important updates that you may want to take note of when you're going to watch this meeting later, or when you're going to be browsing the notes and wondering what exactly were we talking about today. The meeting is kind of understaffed because we have a big marketing meeting happening, unfortunately, exactly at the same time. It's the best time, as you can imagine, to get many people from many time zones together. So the whole marketing team is getting together right now for a big one. I got kicked out, so well, no, I'm joking, of course. I decided to come over here because I prefer you people than talking about, no, I'm joking as well. Somebody had to come here and talk about things, and that was my turn. So we're going to be going through an agenda which is quite full, not too full, which is good. We do have Chris in the room, great. We have people lurking, great. We have MKLL filling the Etherpad with loads of stuff, great as usual. And we are going to go through the information we have included in the Etherpad, and then we're going to open it up, or in the meantime, I'm going to be checking what exactly is going on IRC, because who knows, maybe somebody will mention something in there as well. So, dear people, first of all, the product update section. We would usually have Roland here, but he's, as I already mentioned, in the marketing meeting. So we have the Firefox Beta / Developer Editions 61.0 B7 out for all the major operating systems. So that's out there for everybody who is interested in using the bleeding edge of Firefox technology, or is a developer and wants to see how things work from the inside on the web. That edition is definitely for you. So as always, you may notice some issues if you're using those versions. You may notice some quirks, bugs, or anything. Please report them using the appropriate channels, and they should be resolved as soon as possible. Then the news is that iOS 12 is going to be coming more or less, and this is more or less, the first week of June, or after the first week of June, so June 7th. Yeah, the problem is that we have to make Apple happy with it, so we'll see if that works out or not. But basically, in a week, the new Firefox for iOS version 12 should hit all the app stores around the world, or the centralized one, generally from where you're downloading apps into your iPads, iPhones, and all the other iDevices. Hopefully that's going to work out. If not, Ron is going to keep us posted about this. Moving onwards to the cool news of the week. The most important cool piece of news of the week is that we have a summary put together by Rachel about the work week and the CIID workshop, so the Copenhagen Institute of Intelligent Design, not of Intelligent Design, of Interaction Design. We had a workshop with them a while ago, and we have some notes to share, some slides to share. It is on Discourse for everybody's consumption, so there's a thread on that. Please jump in there and interact and ask questions and question everything, as I would say. And yeah.
What is CIID?
So, good question, Chris. CIID is Copenhagen Institute of Interaction Design. It's an external organization that we have been working with as Mozilla on some projects already. And since we were looking into researching how support works with different communities online, and they were recommended to us, and we decided to work with them on doing research on this. So basically, we had external researchers interviewing people and looking into different organizations using contributor support or community support as a means of supporting their platforms or tools. And this is the group we were working with. So they came over to Berlin, and we were talking and walking through their findings.
Okay.
Okay, cool. It's yeah, I should probably write it down because CIID is kind of a big chunk of letters. I'm going to update it in the Etherpad after the meeting so that it's clear what it actually means. We also have some news about the GDPR. Generally, we're in the bunch of the few lucky organizations that didn't have to send a ton of emails around and inform everybody that things have changed terribly, because we've been already compliant for quite a while. There's the information in the blog post linked by MKL. Thank you for that. Speaking of privacy, we have a tracking protection toggle in Nightly, which means it's going to be coming soon to the main release, to the stable release channel, most likely, unless something happens, and it won't. And there's a bit of good press coming from Fast Company, so that's cool. Definitely always good to have good news. And if I remember correctly, the Fast Company people, yeah, are switching from a certain other browser that I should not name here. So yeah, generally there's a lot of love for Firefox on the technical side, which is very nice because we've been getting hammered in the past for memory leaks and many different things. Fortunately, our engineering team pulled a lot of power together, and now it's working much smoother. Okay, for the platform updates. Well, you know what's going on. There's an agenda. If there are items in the agenda, Madalena is on it, and she knows that there are the items there. So she is the person responsible for calling the platform meetings. We don't have, of course, unfortunately, any big updates regarding any developers joining us exclusively for our purposes and design needs. But yeah, after the upcoming all hands, we should have more details regarding the UX redesign. We should have more information regarding additional tweaks to the site that may be coming soon. For now, we don't have any big news to share with you, but don't worry, if anything will surface, you will definitely be informed in this meeting and in the platform meeting as well, probably at length in the platform meeting if it's going to be a very technical thing to explain. For contributors of the week, we have a nomination from MKLL. Thank you so much. For Firefox Scout on Twitter, also known as Random Firefox User. Definitely a great member of the social support team, answering left and right and helping people at the same time. Because answering is one thing, everybody can, or anybody, sorry, can provide a ton of answers, but actually being able to help people at the same time, that's very important. That's the key part of it. So thank you so much, Firefox Scout or RFU, for being there for the users on Twitter, and hopefully we can see more great action from your side. On the knowledge base and LNN part, we have a note from Ton about a certain issue that was there and also part of a bunch of other grudges. And I'm going to mention it because it's in the notes. But in general, if you notice something broken, because I did get an email about that, I checked later on, and it was in my inbox. There were some mentions about it in the forum, I guess. It's just there's always something else happening that has a higher priority. And since this was kind of deprioritized, it was basically two typos in the strings that were not really breaking anything. I think I put a pull request that should fix it. And this is a reminder, first of all, if you see a bug, file a bug. And just assign it to me or assign it to Madalena or assign it to Rachel on Bugzilla. Otherwise, we just don't know what's going on, and no amount of pinging or sending us messages anywhere may fix it because, to be honest, I usually just pay attention to Bugzilla if it's about bugs. Unless it's a P1 bug or P0 or P-5, when basically my screen explodes when I do something on the site, and then I'm like, okay, this is probably a bug. But other than that, I will usually just look for Bugzilla issues. And you can remind me that there are Bugzilla bugs, but if there are no Bugzilla bugs, I'm just going to think that, okay, maybe there's nothing big happening. And of course, we have many outstanding issues for Kitsune, but like I mentioned a few minutes before, we don't have the developers to tackle this, so we'll be trying to sort things out in different ways as much as possible. And yeah, if you want to talk about the lack of developers or how can things be sorted, please talk to Madalena. She's the project manager for Kitsune, so she will definitely have more information and can talk to you about things in detail and at length. I don't have all the information that she has, so I cannot really be a representative source for that particular part. I can, however, be a good source for information relating GDPR articles in the KB. So we do have a legal thing popping up there. This was localized because of the importance of let's say the issue in general. So GDPR just reminding people that we are observant of all the rules and regulations as put forward by the European Union. We have an article explaining things for the European Union citizens and economic area as well, and the Swiss users. Generally, we have an article that explains what's going on and why with the data. And please take a look. There's a link in the Etherpad notes. You can click it and check if it's localized into your locale. I've been working on this a while ago and pushing some things live. Some things were already reviewed by you, so thank you so much for that. If they don't get reviewed by you soon, and they should be in the review queues for all the European locales at least, then I'm going to just push them on my own, and then they can still be fixed, amended, tweaked as necessary if you think that the wording is awkward for any reason and so on. But we really count on having these rather out in the language than not. So for all the locales that are affected, let's say geographically, as in all the European Union languages that we can support, it's kind of important to have in place. Okay, then we've had over 210 revisions in the last 7 days, so thank you very, very much for being there in the KB and helping out as well. There hasn't been any new content for the new release just yet because Joni's been working on that, and also she's been helping out with the legal documentation I just mentioned a second ago. So we are going to have more new release material coming soon your way. Definitely there will be some updates about this. For the support forum and social support, I think Rachel wanted to leave some notes here before going to the other meeting, but she I think she just dropped the line because she had to join the other meeting. So for the support forum, I'll ask her to explain exactly what she wanted to add in here, but for social support, and there will be a post-mortem for Firefox 60, and there will be a social support meeting this Friday, early morning Pacific Standard Time. So there's a calendar link you can add to your calendars if you want to, if you don't want to miss it. And there is a bridge between the Telegram group and the locked Slack channel for the NDA users. Be wary of sharing any NDA info on Telegram. It's not really advisable. But yeah, be very, very, very careful because any information you share and that ends up in the wrong hands, it's not a tragedy, but it just shouldn't happen. So, and sometimes it's just very easy to hit enter or type something on your phone and send it off, and then realize that, oops, there are probably people in this group that shouldn't be reading this. If in doubt, it's always best to ask around, like, hey guys, do you think I could share some information that looks like it's maybe a bit sensitive? And if people are not sure, don't do it simply. Or ask any of us via email. Unless it's something super important, then you should ask any of us via email as well. Okay, we have in the fun stuff section a user who supposedly has, what was the thing on his chest again? I use Firefox. I use Firefox tattooed on his chest. Yeah, I'm not so sure. I mean, maybe it's a very small tattoo. I think that would be a bit crazy, and I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just quite curious. I like to see some evidence, maybe, even if heavily edited. But yeah, it's kind of drastic, unless it's a very small tattoo somewhere. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, some people tattoo different things in different places, so that's definitely not impossible. And yeah, indeed, there's a note that Etherpad is unsupported. There's a big banner on top of Etherpad saying that it's unsupported. We will be figuring out what to do with this. I really like Etherpad for its lightness. Like, you know, it's very lightweight. It just works when it works, and it's easy for everybody to access. And we have this standardized links, those standardized links that are just cool and they just work. So if we can't use Etherpad in the long run, we'll have to figure something out, which will be a bummer, but hey. And we could try Google Docs, but then again, Google Docs, it's not the best thing to use for a bunch of people at the same time. We'll try to figure out what other teams or other projects are using around Mozilla if they're not using Etherpad, and we'll get back to you regarding this once we have some good answers. If you have suggestions, by the way, other than Google Docs, please send them our way. We're definitely happy to look into things. And I don't know, maybe we should just take notes on GitHub and then just publish them, as like pull requests.
I
Uh,
like what I think was the Web Compat team was doing as
mhm.
just using Etherpad temporarily during the meetings and just after the meetings. And I think they have a script that converts it to wiki.mozilla.org.
That's not a bad idea at all.
Yeah.
And I think that that would be a great thing to do. So I'll take a look into that. I'm just going to take a note.
It's in the discourse thread
Yeah,
about
okay.
Etherpad alternatives.
Okay. Mm, okay, cool. Thank you so much, Chris. This is a very good idea. And yeah, like this is exactly the type of information or feedback we're looking for. Because if you have, thank you so much. If you have, and you definitely know more than I ever will on many subjects. So if you have any ideas or any suggestions, drop them our way and we're going to investigate. Cool. I think that's the agenda. I'm just going to take a look at IRC if there's anything happening there. And nope, Tesco had problems joining. Whoops, sorry. But yeah, if this is it for this week, the team will be back next week at full force, I think. So yeah, I actually may be out next Wednesday, but yeah. If you have anything or if you have something to add to the next week's meeting, you know where to find the agenda for now. It's going to be at the same place as usual on Etherpad, but yeah, we'll be looking into alternatives. Thank you so much for watching, attending, interacting, dropping interesting information all over the place, and we'll see you soon when we're back together for the community team meeting. Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.